Welcome back to the Better Learning Podcast. This episode is part of a special series we recorded live at PASBO conference, also known as the Pennsylvania Association of School Business Officials in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania this year. While we were there, we had the chance to sit down with school leaders, business officials, and partners from across the region to talk about what it really looks like to plan, fund, and support today's learning environments. So in this series, you'll hear a real conversation about the trade-offs, the challenges, and the opportunities that come with trying to build better learning environments. Without further ado, let's dive in.
Welcome back to the Better Learning Podcast. I'm here with Siobhan from ASBO. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about the work you do?
Okay, so I work for the Association of School Business Officials International. We are based in Northern Virginia, but our members are primarily through North America and a little beyond. We have about 11,000 school business professionals that we represent and that we serve. My role is I'm the Deputy Executive Director at ASBO International, and I get to work with all of our teams that put on content, deliverables, working with membership, and I have the pleasure of being at Pittsburgh today as I'm meeting one of our state affiliates, Pennsylvania. So I'm at the PASBO annual conference for that.
Very cool, Pittsburgh. I'm very biased. This is our hometown. I think it's America's greatest city, and I could talk about that all day.
Well, there you go. So that just
I'm Pittsburgh's ambassador.
Right. And as the ambassador of Pittsburgh, we actually are bringing our ASBO International Conference here in the fall. So we will be here, and actually we'll be at this convention center. The Westin will be one of our headquarter hotels.
I'm going to plan on being here for that as well.
Please do. It will be
fantastic.
fantastic.
That's great, Siobhan.
Yeah.
So at this conference here, we meet with a lot of school business officials, architects, superintendents, folks who are involved in school construction, school modernization, focus on school designs. Interestingly, the work you do for ASBO is like one step removed, but still in coordination with a lot of folks who are doing that type of work. What I want to do is actually close the gap here between ASBO and like the impact on students, teachers, communities. That's really like the center of our values here. And I think you'd say the same. Mm-hmm. Can you talk a little bit about how you think about your role and the work you do in relation to educational change and educational impact?
Well, I feel like, I guess my role, or maybe even the role of the association, is that we're behind the wall. You don't see us. We're not in school districts. We are not in classrooms, but we are, I feel, integral into making sure that the information, that there are amazing members, and we have so many fantastic school business professionals making these effective decisions for the kids in the districts and the communities and all of the folks that work in the education system. They're making these decisions every day. Our role is to make sure that they have the tools, the resources, the support, the network, the access, the professional development, and the advocacy to allow them to keep their focus on what they need to be making on is the decisions that run the school system. I find when I'm not at work, a lot of time I'm describing what a school business professional is. And everybody knows what school is. I don't think folks would go into their medical office thinking, well, I've been to the doctors, so I know how to be a doctor. I think a lot of folks have lots of opinions on how the schools run, but there's so many responsibilities, and to have that school business professional there with all of the knowledge that covers everything from the nutrition, legal, the facility, indoor air quality. We saw our members became rock stars during the pandemic. Somebody needed to make those decisions on how are our kids going to learn in this situation. We've typically been behind the scenes. You know of the superintendent, you know of the principal, the school principals. You wouldn't necessarily know who your local school business professional is. But for anybody listening, you should find them and thank them, because it's often a thankless job, but it's a crucial and important one that allows our kids to be educated in a safe way and allows the folks that work in the school systems to be supported.
It's fascinating work you do, and I think it's an incredible connection to make between the layers of organization here and the way that you impact those professionals who are helping districts really execute the vision. we work with a lot of different school business officials, as you can imagine, in our work. And I think that folks will be surprised how many of them are actually well-versed on educational thinking. They're not merely accountants and finance professionals. These are people who really tend to be mission-driven. They could probably work in a finance or banking institution if they so choose. But instead, they've devoted their life to K-12 education in many cases.
You're so right. So I have been at ASBO for 25 years now, and I've actually seen a change in my time at ASBO. So if we were sitting here 20 years ago and you were asking me, Siobhan, where do your members come from? I'd say to you, primarily, at that point, 70 or 80% of them actually came through the education route. They were teachers, then became principals, then moved into the business office. And now it's actually very different. That's about maybe 15 to 20%. What we see now is we see our qualified chartered public accountants. We see folks coming from the corporate world, and they want to do something mission-driven. So you are so spot on. Wow, what a mission-driven profession to be a part of. How they manage to get really creative to try and get the biggest bang for the buck. I've never met a school business professional in all my years who said to me, "Oh, we have enough money." They never have enough money. It's all because there's always more to do and there's always more challenges to do, and they do it because they are passionate about the child in the classroom and about the folks that work to serve those children in the classroom. And it's everybody. It's not just the teacher, right? It's the office staff. It's the folks that are keeping the cafeterias clean. It's the folks that are keeping the schools secure, making sure the bus routes are run. I could go on about this forever, so I think you're so spot on. The majority of the members I see are mission-driven. Fun story I had from many years ago when I was trying to figure out what is a school business professional. I managed to find myself, because I work for ASBO International, I was sitting in between two practitioners. One had gone from Colorado and I think had moved to Washington, D.C. The other one was from Alaska. So I had another chap from New York. And so that member was talking about he had like something 200,000 school children within the districts that he was serving. And then the rock star from Alaska, she had to go fly to a school that had 8 children in the entire school because there were no roads. But so just it was vastly different experiences. But I sat back and listened to them talk about what united them, which was the passion to provide an education to the kids and to do that well.
That really resonates with me. I'm a 15-year educator, passionate about the craft of teaching. I happen to teach in inner city urban environments, but I could sit down with an independent private school teacher. I could sit down with a rural educator. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter who I'm talking to. If you got the fire for educational practice, and it sounds like school business officials have a similar condition as well. So that's really a great story. I'm very happy you shared that. Yeah. Well, Siobhan, thank you for joining us for a few minutes here. I know this was impromptu, but we'll be back in the fall with you. I'm looking forward to that.
We will be here October 14th through 16th. And we'd love to have a good, strong Pennsylvania presence. I think it would be fantastic.
Well, we're excited to help in any way.
Thank you.
Have a great conference.
Thank you.
The Better Learning Podcast is produced by Matt Rogers and edited by Kelly Jones. The views and opinions shared on this podcast are those of the individual speaking and do not necessarily represent the perspectives of their affiliated companies, organizations, or associations.